So I just came across this Twitter thread. I'm gonna go back one because it's from Joe M. It says Michael Jackson was innocent, and they, in brackets, have been destroying him since 1993 when he didn't play ball. They also have this torturous, long-term, concerning, coercion strategy where they crush you from all sides, financially, mentally, emotionally, until you either surrender or overdose on pills. So then it's Colin Patriot 126, and it's a bunch of reasons why I feel like Michael Jackson did not kill himself. Why do you think Michael Jackson was murdered? This article was the biggest tell of all, an interview with Paris Jackson, his daughter. It says Paris Jackson says she believes Michael Jackson was murdered in first interview since her father's death. Michael Jackson's only daughter has spoken out for the first time since his death 7 years ago to say that she believes her father was murdered. Paris Jackson, now 18, said she is convinced that Jackson's 2009 death was not accidental. He was found with a cocktail of drugs in his system, and his doctor, Conrad Murray, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in November 2011 and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Okay. And so reason number 2, some interesting quotes from Paris on if it was murder, because it's obvious all arrows point to that. It sounds like a total conspiracy theory, and it sounds like bull, but all real fans and everybody in the family knows it. It was a setup. It was bull. Let's dig deeper. Michael Jackson wrote letters of fear and terror to longtime friend Michael Jacob Shagan just before he died. Alright, so in the Independent, says Michael Jackson projected he would be murdered just before his death. One of Michael Jackson's closest friends revealed the singer sent letters predicting his own murder just weeks before dying from a drug overdose. Michael Jacob Shagan, a 34-year-old businessman who was friends with Jackson for 2 decades, claimed the pop star wrote 13 letters that included phrases such as "They are trying to murder me" and "I'm scared for my life." You know, I always thought that there was something odd about him dying like that. You know, he just and now that I look back and see all the criticism that he got, it was like, I'm like, man, it kind of just, it reminds me of Trump and all the criticism he's getting. So obviously I think Michael Jackson was one of the good guys, and he was trying to do good, and they didn't like, he was probably trying to expose them, or he didn't play ball with them, and, you know, so they choked him out pretty much. So then here's number 4. Here are 3 of 13 of those letters. One letter: the system wants to kill me, my music catalog. Kill me for my music catalog. Letter 2: AEG makes so much pressure to me. I have a bad feeling. I'm scared about my life. Wow. Looks like the letter back up Paris's theory that he was murdered. Let's revisit the article again. Asked who would want her father dead, she replied, a lot of people, and added that she is still seeking justice. The next quote is where things get interesting, and where I strongly believe it ties into QAnon. On if she thinks it was murder, I definitely do, but it's a chess game, and I am trying to play the chess game that the right way, and that's all I can say about that right now. Whoa, chess game. What did she mean by that? And What did she mean by that's all I can say about that right now? Where have we heard chess game before? No coincidences. Shall we play a game? Map is critical to understand. Future unlocks past. D-class Atlanta past. News unlocks map. Find the markers 10 at 10, 12, 7, 12, 17. Concourse F, Terminal 5, private operated plane, Atlanta, EID, extraction known, darkness, learn double meanings, shutdown, Q POTUS 1, Q POTUS 2, Q POTUS 3, Q POTUS 4, 10 in brackets, Q POTUS 5, special place, wire drops highlighted by POTUS shortly thereafter, coincidence or message, the Great Awakening, POTUS today, unlock, class op, EID, future, how about a nice game of chess, splash, Fox 3, okay. As a backup, they infiltrated the control of the narrative, the MSM. As a backup, they install only those on the team. As a backup, they blackmail those that aren't. As a backup, they define conspiracy as crazy, mentally unstable, and label anything true as such. This works given most of what they engage in is pure evil and simply unbelievable, hard to swallow. The fix has always been in, no matter which party won the election. JFK killed, Reagan shot. This was always the promise made to those who played the game willingly or otherwise, i.e., they would never lose power. Power of the three-letter agencies, power of the U.S. military, worldwide dominance to push against other nations to install like kind. These people are really stupid. Follow the husbands. Another hint. Ian Cameron, McKinsey and Company, Clowns in America, Dr. Emmett J. Rice, Federal Reserve. Everyone is connected. How about a nice game of chess? MZ, RT, big meeting, cell phones left at door, +8, 5 political, 1 former Intel director, mask and spin, identify, friendly insider, MSM support, plus talking points, shift narrative, fail, we hear you, we have the algorithm, thank you at Snowden, learn chess, she goes down, or down she goes, nobody escapes this, nobody. Okay, so then we go to number 8. If the theories are true, then Dr. Conrad Murray was wrongfully charged for MJ's death, and it was the deep state. Also of note, the Paris interview took place January 2017, so we might be hearing more from her soon. Very interesting. Okay, and then reopening the thread to add another celebrity who I believe was murdered. In light of the huge Cimex stories, there seems to be a huge connection to death in Operation Backyard Brawl. Let me explain. Operation Backyard Brawl has been happening in Tuscan, where Jonathan Rothschild's, yes, that Rothschild is the mayor, mayorrothschild.com. The University of Arizona is also in Tuscan, but why is that relevant? For whatever reason, the Dean of Civil Engineering and Engineering Mechanics has Cimex on his faculty phone or profile, what was it? With no explanation why. I just so happened to stumble across the Distinguished Global Alumni of University of Arizona website. Taking another look, I discovered a former Sultan of Oman graduated with both a BS and MS in agriculture. Why? How is this relevant to at Avinci's death? you ask? Because his body was found in the state of current Sultan of Oman. No coincidence. I have much more about Adventure 2.